All right, what's up, familia? Welcome inside the pad. Hope you guys are doing good. Keeping it between the lines. Got your load secure. There is one individual that just keeps on going. And I've had people reach out to me and say, like, hey, you should do a collab with this vato, man. Hey, are you familiar with this individual? Man, people don't know, man. Me and this vato's been in hermanos from day one, dog. You could find this vato on Chicano Street, homie. Let's bring in from Chicano 2, mi hermano 1, Mr. Mike Diaz.
And I appreciate you, hermano. Shout out to everyone in the comments section tapping in on both canales. I need you to do me a favor, though. Subscribe over to mi hermano Cholo Trucker. And we're going to talk about all of that and how we met because you're right. I think a lot of people are out of the loop.
Yeah, it's funny, man. I get a couple of people getting at me. They're like, "Hey, you ever heard of Mike Diaz from Chicano Tube that used to be the Salinas Report?" I'm like, "Yeah, dog, that come on, Holmes, you're offending me by even asking that question, dog. That's mi hermano right there, man. Me and Mike, we've been down from day número uno, carnal."
This is going to turn into a 5-hour podcast. I have the feeling this ain't going to be no una hora. And we're going to answer all the questions in the comment section. That's for sure.
Yeah, so we're here to promote something that you got coming up. But before we get into that, carnal, when you and I first came across each other on YouTube, there was another event going on, and that's how you and I kind of got to know who we were. We met in person, and from there, man, it just our relationship just kind of took off, homie.
So let me go ahead and just let the people know right now, as people are trickling in, hit that like on the feed. That gente, if you didn't know, mi hermano right here is a pioneer in this whole YouTube boxing thing, gente. So here's how we go back. I end up getting uh, invited to go and ring announce a pelea. Who's in the pelea? YouTubers. Why? Because I should have tapped into YouTube a long time ago, carnal. Why did I just tap into YouTube in 2024? I'm behind a couple años. And so, but what I'm talking about is a pioneer fight, which mi hermano won. And the other character is kind of bouncing around the ropes, looking like, I don't know, one of those juguetes from the 80s, just bobbling and moving around all unstable. But anyways, we're not going to get into too much chisme here, okay? I met mi hermano. And since that day at the press conference, me and you clicked and me and you connected. Así. And then now even more, okay, dices tú that I've rebranded the canal from what I used to be to doing something a little bit more cultura because I feel like I got to pass that information on to mis hijos.
Yeah, man, you are running Chicano Street, Holmes. So when I saw the whole rebranding, I was just like, hey, you know what? Yeah, I was like, man, that's Friedman, dog. You know what? That has got to be probably one of the most Friedman names in YouTube, Chicano too. Like it just screams at you, like, orale, Holmes, you're Chicano. Like, damn, there it is, Chicano too, man. It just comes right off the tongue, man. And it's such a simple name, Mikey, but at the same time, it's so capturing, homie. Where it's like, damn, how come I didn't think of that? You know what I mean? It comes off really really good, Holmes. Just for those that probably haven't tapped into Chicano Tube, you guys gotta go check out my guy Mikey, man. How did you come up with the rebranding? And for those that don't know, just a little quick history. It went from Salinas Report. Shout out to everybody up at the Salad Bowl. How did you go from that to Chicano Tube?
That's right. And I don't want to forget that neither. I need to give a shout out because that's the base of the canal. A lot of people don't know. Aquí estoy in my city, and it's the 831 is I got them on my back. I see them every single day. They stick their heads out of the UPS cars, the FedEx cars, down at the In-N-Out Burger. That's in the hood, actually. Uh, they give me shouts out, and I like getting that positive feedback, carnal, because that's really what I'm doing. And so the rebranding of the channel, I appreciate tu apoyo since day one. And so this was overdue, but now that we got the content creator series of fighting, this is something that fighting is just something that unites people, period. But let me go ahead and give that story because that's an interesting story. So I'm laying in bed and I'm with the wife and we're discussing a couple things. We had already started the construction of the studio. And I had announced that on the channel that we were going to start building the studio. And so, of course, we already got all the network and resources to put this thing together. That was nothing. And so I'm laying there, and the wifey told me, guess what? I ordered you a sign and it didn't arrive, and I had to return it. And I'm just gonna tell because it was either an anniversary of my birthday or something. I have a bad memory. My wife knows I have a bad memory. She knows she has a way better memory, but it was a special occasion. She ordered a sign that was, three, four, $500, and she said it got returned. And she told me, "Do you want me to tell you what it is?" I'm gonna tell you what it is. It was Chicano tube because you just say it in your videos naturalmente. We're back on Chicano tube. We're back on Chicano tube. The pride was always there. The cultura was always there. Salinas, I consider Salinas, carnal, like the Los Angeles of Northern California. If that makes sense. There's a lot of people, and I'm not knocking anybody. No se agüiten in the comment section. Here you go. You're going to start going after me with daggers and knives. But if I got my Chicano 2 people, whack them. No, just kidding. Um, a lot of people like in LA, they don't live in LA, but they say they're from LA, right?
Mhm.
Like
Yes.
they live in Calexico, or they
Mhm.
live in I don't know, but on the outside, and I know, I don't know LA, but I know that puedes ir 2 horas en una dirección, but someone will say they're in LA.
Right.
I'm like, how come
Yeah.
you're not by downtown? Anyway, so we came. Anyways, I don't know why I said that. Um, so she told me that the sign came there, and then the wifey said it. I didn't say it. She said it. De su propia boca. She goes, you know what? She goes, what if you just branded your channel since you say that so much, Chicano Tube? And then at that point is when I started following all the IG pages and all the Raza Cultura pages. I wasn't following them. I was following more real estate stuff, more boxing stuff. My favorite channel on YouTube is Ellie Seckback.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, man. And the colors, the
Oh,
change
carnal.
that
That's
you
how
did,
it came
man.
about.
Yeah, and the color, the change, the logo that you got there in the back, the studio, everything came to be, homie. And I probably don't get a chance to watch you live because sometimes I gotta be up at like 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning and stuff. But I do catch the replays. And for everybody, it's not that I completely agree, with Mike Diaz and everything he says, but it's the differences that can bring us together, man. And that's what I love about it. There's certain individuals that I just like having conversations with, and it doesn't matter if we don't agree or see eye to eye on every single issue, Holmes. Unlike politicians, that the one little difference, they're over there ripping each other's heads off, Holmes. Ain't nobody could get anywhere like that, where, certain individuals, we could have a good conversation. Okay, cool. We don't agree on that. Hey, so be it, Holmes. It's time to go our separate way, or we just disagree on this, whatever subject it is. So be it, man. Doesn't mean my love for the individual has to change. So that's one thing that I highly respect about you, Mikey. The difference of opinions of others you respect.
Absolutely. Everything is prefaced on respect. That's just the way I was raised. I believe that's first, and that's off the top. Of course, we're in the internet age, and people just disrespect, and they're on the internet, but that's a whole nother thing. But respect, absolutely, because I don't see colors. I don't see brown. I don't see white people. I don't see I see just gente, raza. So a lot of people just think when I say raza, I'm just meaning the raza. I'll say la raza, but when I want to specify it, but if not, it's all people. It's all people. And I'm just trying to help people out, pues en lo que yo ha pasado and whatever the little things that I know and do. And really now am going to start pushing the platform a lot toward the chingazos. Because if anything can unite the raza, it's chingazos.
That's right, man. Hey, well, something that everybody cannot miss when they look at Mikey is that big old mustache, Holmes. That vato's rocking the stash, homie. Move over, Ned Flanders, because Chicano Tube is rocking the stash on up there, Holmes. Check that sucker out.
Shout out to Miss Chicano Tube in the comment section. Brenda loves in the casa. There's a lot of day oneers in the casa. So I brought over my canal is chat. It's going to go into the stream, carnal. And what I want everyone to do from Chicano on Chicano Street is to go ahead and sub over to mi Chicano hermano Cholo Trucker.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, this is being shared on both channels right here live, or even if you go back and watch in the archives, it's being shared on both of our channels. And for everybody on Cholo Trucker, go check out my boy Mike Diaz on Chicano Tube. I'm telling you, man, The guy has a lot of knowledge and he brings it home. Do you agree with them? Do you not agree with them? But one thing that he gives is respect as long as you give that respect back. And damn it, that's what it's all about, Holmes. All right.
Absolutely.
So, Mikey, okay, man. Um, let's get into what you got going on and how did we get there, because we're definitely, I know there's people already leaving comments, hey, what about what's going on in this fight and this guy and that guy. We're gonna get on into all that, calmados, just let's warm our way up there, okay? Let's throw a couple
And
of
hit that
jabs.
like.
Let's throw a couple of jabs before you start throwing power punches, man. All right. So okay, Mikey, let's talk about this content creator series of fighting. How did you come up with this? What gave you the idea? What was it, the first event that was thrown? And what led you to say, you know what, I'm going to keep on going until I make this happen? Talk to us a little bit about that, brother.
It's very simple. Content creator series of fighting basically was birthed out of a need, out of a need. The gente, a want. The gente want, not people just to come on YouTube. Just don't get this twisted, gente. This is not celebrity boxing. I've heard a couple podcasters, I ain't gonna say no names, say, I don't do celebrity boxing. I don't do this is not celebrity boxing. I don't even know if I know any celebrities. I guess you can consider if someone has 10K, 20K, 50K followers, 100, a million, whatever you want to consider, whoever a celebrity. That's your interpretation. This is a platform on YouTube that is going to be going state to state. We're going to start build. This is just like any other company that I built, carnal. It's going to start going state to state. We're going to hit all the, you know what we're going to do, carnal? We're going to go to the, like where the lowrider car show goes. That's where the raza, that's where the gente is. We're going to go to Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Denver, Colorado. So it was birthed out of a want for people to not hear people talk about bronca, but actually pull up. And it's not a nonprofit for charity event, carnal. I know we met at one of those, and that's
Mhm.
very beneficial. That's very beneficial. What you guys did to bless people was very beneficial. I know in the sacrifice you did pulling up to that fight, the training camps, the gym workouts, the constant training, you knew it was for charity, and that's very beneficial. This is not for charity. Really quick, I heard a pinchy podcaster say that it was 100K you guys made and no one distributed the money. Dedo. Anyways, let's keep it moving. So it was birthed out of a want. All I'm doing is providing a platform and can put it together. And I'm a businessman. I don't play any games, especially when it comes to a bag. My fighters get a really good bag. So it's going to be for profit. And the company is just going to go state to state and we're going to keep it moving. And what was the other question you asked me?
How did you get the idea to do this? Was it
Mm.
being involved in that charity fight?
No, no, that one was already on the back of my mind. After that, I kind of just moved back into life and kept it pushing, man, because we were real busy, me and the wifey. So, no, went back to that. That had nothing to do with it. It was just I was like, it was wide open. It was wide open. No one is doing anything. I feel like I'm Tony, a Montana. When he came over and he was in Miami and he was telling Manolo, he goes, man, this Manolo, this place is wide open. It's like forget it. Anyways, that's how I felt. I said, this thing is wide open. Then I'm not going to be caught up in any games. I'm going to go ahead and be the businessman I really am in real life. And I'm going to make these fights happen for the people and me. I told the wifey, I just want you looking hot and sexy next to me while we enjoy fights. These are the little things. And I think the people deserve that.
Okay. Okay. No, no, definitely. I mean, everybody surrounds themselves whenever there's a fight going on, man, and it does bring people out and they want to see what's going on, right? So, no, that's for
The red
sure.
carpet, which we're going to have at every event, the red carpet. People want to hit the red carpet.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, how many people have hit the red carpet? I never have, but look forward to hitting the red carpet one day soon, man. So, okay, Mikey. So let's get into it. Content creator series of fighting. You, my man, for anybody who doesn't know, you have, like you said, you are a businessman. You own, you run a couple of businesses, your personal businesses, but you yourself have been involved in boxing, amateur boxing for many years. So this is nothing new for you. So now talk to us a little bit about content creator series of fighting. How did you start it? The whole legal process to it, the licensing. I mean, you're doing this, all in the all on the books, man. This is you're not, trying to beat around the bush, trying to cut corners. This is all by the book. Talk to us a little bit about how was it was it difficult? How was it for you to get all that done? Gracias,
Ab-
Simon.
ab-
Appreciate that.
That's right, Jaime, man. Good looking out right there. Appreciate that super chat right there. Let's not forget Cholo Trucker fought the runner, yep, with a bruised rib and didn't cancel the fight. All of that. So, yep, I appreciate that. So,
Appreciate that.
um, yeah, so I had about 20 something amateur fights, and I started amateur boxing in my at 30. At 30 years old, it was a couple years of not exercising at all. Like I didn't get my health on at all and was really busy actually working two jobs. I was working two jobs. I was working 12-hour days nonstop, maybe 14. I can't remember, but if Miss Chicano Tube's in the comment section, she'll let you know. I would come home just to leave and just, doing what I had to do because obviously the family was growing and, doing grown man stuff. And then I was working Farmers Insurance. I worked for Farmers Insurance for 4 years. And so I know the insurance game inside and outside. Gracias a Dios, it's helped me. And so, anyways, about 24 fights later, 20 wins, 4 losses. I DJ'd the fights, and then that led me into ring announcing the fight. So basically, in amateur boxing, as much as you want to volunteer, they'll take it. They'll take all the help that you want to give. If you can get your fighter license and if you can get your officials license, you can do a lot in amateur boxing. And then later on, I started to get a little bit tired because I'm 30 something years old, 33, 35, 37, and I'm fighting 21-year-olds. I'm fighting 23-year-olds. I got stopped like 2 times. One guy, I didn't even want to run it back with. Got to keep it real with you. He went to win Golden Gloves. He went to getting Golden Gloves. So shout out to Malachi from Stockton. And so he ended up going all the way to Kansas, right? Kansas City. And so I kept fighting and DJing all the events. And then the ring announcing thing came to me like an idea, like, you know what? People kept coming up to me, tienes una voz, tienes voz de locutor. It sounds like you could, be on the radio or be a personality. You just have a voice. And that made me think I'm going to shoot a video. I'm going to shoot a video that's going to give me exposure as a ring announcer. One of these videos where the mic drops from the ceiling and there's nothing but smoke all around you and the cameras are doing 360s around you. I said, I'm going to put myself out there and even do this because I like fights. Now, again, that was just step by step because now, I mean, I wish I would have just did the promoting up front, but everything happens in God's time. It wasn't until right now where I can get into the promoting. So, they kept fighting, but then all of a sudden, we hit the sea. We hit in February or March of 2020, 2020. We hit the sea, and everyone started getting locked down and stuff like that. And you know what? Pues todavía estamos haciendo ejercicio. Even though people will rat on us, people would throw the rat, and next thing you know, the sheriffs are sticking a note on the pinche puerta que why we know that you're working out, and we're like, damn, we're just surrounded by nothing but raza over here. Who's Come on now. Crabs in a bucket. Calma la raza. They were ratting on us. We tried to do some workouts, but that went slower. And then I jumped on YouTube because of that. And then, so now, again, let's fast forward because you asked me about the process. So
Yeah.
then I get to the scene, the want, and no one is fulfilling that need. People would say that, they got beefs to settle. Again, this is not celebrity boxing. This is just beefs to settle. You got a beef? Hit my DM. Anyways, fast forward to that. I said, I got to make this legit, got to make it legal. I already knew about taxes, carnal. I know a lot about taxes. I know a lot about insurance. I don't come off like that. I don't even really make videos on that. I'll just make clips about that and upload clips. And as far as the license is confirmed, the promoter's license, I didn't actually think, carnal, that I was able to get my real estate license. Con toda la historia que yo tengo. I did not think. My very first video, go back on my YouTube channel. Cabrones right here, Chicano Tube on Chicano Street. Go back to the first one. It's how to get your California real estate license. And if you know a little bit about me, I mentioned that. Like, how could you get it, right? Being si tienes historia and stuff like that. So, anyways, I went over there to find out about the promoter's license. It's there's a couple things you have to do with the promoter's license. First thing they want is they're going to do a background check. That's the first thing they're going to do is a background check. And really, what
Background real quick, I don't mean to interrupt, background check on we're talking about, like, felonies and stuff like that?
see, but they're mainly looking for financial crimes. So they're looking for something that affects your integrity, affects your
Right.
character. And let's just keep that real, gente. I mean, that's what they're thinking when you've already done something wrong. Chuecura con dinero. That was the thing because I researched everything, right? And after that, they want liquid assets. They want to make sure you got enough liquid asset. Liquid is not tus carros, tus casas. Those are not liquid. Liquid means cash.
Mm, okay.
And so you have to have a certain amount of liquid también. And of course, credit. I think there's a credit factor, but I don't know how much that weighed on it. That's why I said it in the end. There's a credit factor, but that didn't weigh too much. And then recently, I don't know how my credit just it started just exploding and going through the roof almost at 800. So, and on the tax side, I decided to do a limited liability company. I decided
Oh,
to do LLC because this is one of those occupations, one of those kind of companies that does have a good amount of liability behind it. I'm not pushing papers over here, or we're not delivering, DoorDash or something. This is a company that involves a boxing event promotions. And
okay.
so there's chingazos thrown. And so that I started an LLC, and then basically you just have to start a separate EIN number. You get taxed a lot based on your residency. I'm in California. The taxes here are ridiculous. You're talking about 37%, gente, if you're doing a W-2. But with the LLC, I do afford myself lower taxes. I have to pay more throughout the year.
Mm,
There's more like in real estate, every couple months getting a little piece of the pie. That's just under the table money, like a little envelope. They just charge you for everything in California.
yeah.
But it is what it is. I rather have that and be protected. All of my fighters know that liability, they sign waivers, they said there's contracts. My attorneys see every single contract. I don't produce contracts. My attorney does. And the attorney is also the one that gave me this advice. So shout out to him, shout out to the tax guy, and shout out to my insurance guy.
Yes. So, and you know what? Just a quick little shout out, man. There's somebody in here from House of Rest Church in Modesto. That is the church that a good friend of mine, Pastor David Rocha, runs. That church has opened their doors and invited me in and welcomed me as one of their family. And I've spoke at that church. Much love. Just want to give a good shout out to House of Rest Church out in Modesto, man. Much love to them.
That's right.
Uh,
Shout out to him. Shout out to the congregation over there. Let me say a praise report really quick, carnal. I went last night to speak at the camp. I got two meetings. I got a camp meeting. The camp is where they used to send them to YA, and then I got a juvenile hall. They got the new juvenile hall once a month, right? Last night, this meeting was a trip, real quick. The youngsters came, right, and when I'm already used to it, so the youngsters came, but all of a sudden I seen like 4 or 5 guards. I said, these are all the guards on this shift. They're all in here in my day room when I'm talking to the youngsters. That had never happened before. I didn't think nothing of it. I gave them, the knowledge you can't get in college. And then in the end, I prayed over them. And then I stay around a little bit and go one-on-one with each of them. Because sometimes I hit a nerve when I talk about, domestic violence and growing up in poverty and things like that I speak to the youngsters about, right? Leveling them up, choices, and just, motivating them. I stayed after, and after that was done, the guardia left with me to leave me out of the lockup and get me out of the unit and go through all the doors that I have to go through. And he told me, it's never happened before where every single youngster in the facility has gone to one program.
wow. Okay. Yeah,
And
that's
I
good
said,
formula.
that made sense because I was like, sometimes there'll be one in there, but even that one in there would leave the cuarto. And I know I would have like 60, 80 youngsters. I can't count them all, but I'm used to it already. I've been going there since 2015. He told me, it's never happened before. I'm just saying we got to give a praise report because that's not Mike Diaz. That's God.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Wow. No, that speaks volumes, man. I want to give a shout out to Denkin and Drinking. Is Mr. 209. He's in here. Probably the best party jams that is lined up. That's on Mr. Oldie's channel. Yeah, it was Mr. 209's, and that is my four
Shout
eyed
out,
brother right
Mr.
there,
209.
Mr.
Shout out
Hente.
Kicking It with Bean Loke and Si Se Puede podcast. Shout out, hermano.
Oh yeah, 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 man. Brother Alfonso, Bean Loke, man. So okay, Mikey. So now let's get into what you got coming up. And look, Holmes, I'm not gonna be combative, but I do gotta ask you some hard hitting questions when it comes to this, brother. So please take it in the spirit that it's intended, carnal. But you do have a an event coming up, man. So let's go ahead and let's get to this event, what to expect from it. And yeah, let's go ahead and let's get into it. For one, how did you find these two to get into the ring? Who were you looking? Where were you reaching? Were you calling? Did you say, hey, everybody go ahead and call me? How did you get these two individuals?
I was looking for entrepreneurs. I
Okay.
was looking for for two entrepreneurs that would say they would pull up in order to get a nice bag and give the people what they want, chingazos. That's what I did. And the stable of my fighters has grown substantially. Where I sent out an invitation. I just made a general invitation. Look, and it was a great invitation on a template. And some people have actually helped me share that to other people on YouTube. You're about to see some chingazos on Content Creator Series of Fighting that no one else could have put together. Absolutely, porque tienes que tener las ganas and also be that person, that one that has integrity, that has character, that's business minded. I'm looking out for all of my peleadores. What was the other part of the question?
Well, you know what? That's what I'm gonna get to. Let me go ahead and play devil's advocate as I like to do, man. And let me go ahead and challenge you on this, Mikey. Um, if I were gonna be critiquing, I would say first of all to you, okay, look, Mr. Mike Diaz, you have tried to do this numerous of times and have had dates set up. Why should I believe that this time is actually going to happen? Once a boy cries wolf so many times, I mean, why am I supposed to believe that this time around, I don't know, it was like two or three times. Why should I believe that this time around, this is actually going to go down?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Shout out to Veronica Salas. I appreciate you, amiga. Yes, there's a lot of old school people still there, amiga. It's they're, we're do, God is doing great things, not me is doing great things. So, you know what it was? It was trial and error. It was learning. The learning. Here's something that's gonna just. It's a profound statement that one of my real estate mentors told me. He goes, Mike. He goes, when I barely got my license, like at the first year of COVID. He goes, Mike. The learning is in the doing. The learning is in the doing. The first people, the first fighters that I had, I didn't have contracts through my attorney written up at
Okay.
that point. Now, if they ever circle back, to me, they will have to sign a legal document. So it's been the learning is in the doing for me to the point now. And I really only want to put fighters in there that are going to pull up. If you have a pull out on your record, I'm going to be really skeptical to set up a fight. And if I did, I would have a B fighter or a plan C fighter also, just in case that person, because he has a pull out on his record. I do know a couple people that have pull outs on their record. Not going to blast them out here. That's Cheeseman Tube. We're not going to put it on Cholo Trucker's channel right here because no quiero oír el chisme. Or maybe he does. I don't know. Hit a one if you want to know who pulled out. And maybe I'll drop a name or two. Hit a one. Don't forget to subscribe over to Cholo Truckers channel over here. So again, right now, the this is the first year that everything is set up and ready to go. And again, this is going to, I'm giving them offers they can't refuse, carnal.
Okay.
These are people that threw chingazos growing up on the streets all the time. They I had to throw chingazos to walk to school and
Right.
sometimes walking back. And most of
And
it
most
was
of it
my
was my
friends.
friends.
Well, we can
Right.
get into
No,
that another time. That's the
oh,
members
yeah.
only.
No, no, no. I mean, look, you throw chingazos with your own homies, man, and then later on you're cool with them. It happens so many times growing up. But I just thought I wanted to go ahead throw that out there because you've been trying to do this, man, and that's why I said in the beginning, you do not quit. You keep on going until it makes it happen. I just want to throw the question out there. It's like, okay, why should people believe that this one is going to happen when you've tried two, three other times and it didn't fall through? What's the difference between those and this one? And I like what you said. Trial and error, homie. But you didn't stop, Mikey. And I think that's what people need to pay attention to. You didn't stop. You kept on going. And now you got this content creator series of fighting. And it looks to me, from what you've told me, Holmes, on private conversations and what we're, talking here now, that you have a vision for this, So because things fall apart the first time around, it doesn't mean that, oh, now when I try again, oh, that means it's not gonna happen. No, sometimes you got to keep on failing and failing and failing. You just don't succeed the first time around. You get back up, you keep going, especially when you're working with others and they need to put their hand in there to make something happen. You know, um, so no, definitely, man.
Just like amateur boxing, carnal. I wouldn't. I don't give up on my fighters. I have fighters right now that we know. You already know amateur boxing. We travel to different cities for different amateur fight cards. Imagine me giving up on them. That's where I got the drive, the willpower, the discipline, and the passion for it. And so I'm just translating that over. Now, as far as people pulling out and stuff like that, yeah, So okay, so how do people? Why should they believe that this is happening? Well, because back then we didn't even have the branding. We didn't have anything of the structure that we had now. Even the fighters, when they came to the press conference, carnal, they were a little intimidated. They're like, whoa, they didn't know that cameras and flashes and photo. We got the A team for this pelea right here. First of all, we got the best photographer and videographer money can buy in Monterey County. I won't put their names out there, but I'll put their names on the official poster. We got the best team. We got the best security. We got the best crew. We got everything to put this event together. And my name, of course, is going behind it. These two individuals I've dealt with more than any other fighter that I've dealt with. The other fighters I've never dealt with that I did, that is set up and scheduled for, which people don't even remember, carnal. Those videos are deleted. It's like a distant memory. You brought it up. You threw it at me, devil's advocate, cabrón. But anyways, those videos aren't even. But I deal more personally. I pull up to the fighter. I talk to the fighter. I meet with the fighter. I want to make sure I get all this before we get into it and then go forward. And now my stable of fighters, I got like another 6 fighters ready to go. I got another 6 of them. And some of them that even said, if he wins or if he wins, I want to run it with. I'm not even putting all that out there because that's projecting the future. Let's let CCOS Tony versus EBK happen. And then after that, we ain't taking no shine away. This is going to be a great fight. You got a taller fighter in Tony from Stories Written by Current Prisoner. I think he's like 230, walking around 235. I was just with him and a video team out in LA. We're in West LA. We did that. And he's looking sharp. And, he started training camp and he joined the gym before the press conference. And we
Okay.
did the press conference around Halloween. So I
Mm,
know he's serious about him pulling up. Plus, he's already got a pull up on his record. So,
okay.
I mean, not a physical fight that you see, but someone pulled out on him when he had went through the whole training camp. So I try to be a little bit more personable now, I guess is what I'm saying, is I try to go and meet him, get the vibe from him, and let him know, hey, is this financial opportunity something you want? Because, I mean, it's an offer you can't refuse. You know, the
Right.
people want to see it. And let me just give some other news también. And shout out to EBK también. He's taking it very serious. Let me let you know about EBK. He's one of those youngsters, cabron, that he got hands. He's got street hands. Have you ever met someone that has like a punch that could just land on the chin? Like a one hit. Yeah, he's got accuracy and he's got hands. And of course, he's young and he's taking it very seriously. He's been sparring. Both of them have had black eyes. Both of them have faced boxers that both told me, like, whoa, boxing is different. I know. I know, cabron. It a straight punch. Street fighters don't even know how they can be 100-0 on the streets, but a boxer can hit them with a straight punch and not see the straight punch coming. It's called a straight punch.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, you know what? Look, man. And by the way, shout outs to Putazos y Pendejada, PYP Boxing, man. Our boys Mark and David over there. If you guys like boxing, go tap into that channel.
Por
That's
favor.
yeah, that's our brothers over there out of Texas.
Salinas
Um,
OG, I see you.
no, Mikey, I completely agree, Holmes. When it was time to start training for the boxing match, it is not the same. I understand people like to say, like, "Oh man, you know what? You probably never been in a street fight." No, I've been in quite a few street fights. It's not the same to put on the guantes and get in there. It is not the same. But nobody probably will understand it unless they themselves do it. So
Unless you made that walk and walked in the ring and the referee came and told you the rules and the bell rang. You won't know.
right, right. So, Mikey, let's get into something else right here that I'm gonna go ahead, man, and I'm gonna press it, Holmes. All right.
Keep
Uh,
pressing. Hit that
okay,
like, gente, though, and don't forget to subscribe to me, hermano's channel, Chono Trucker, man. Subscribe to that channel.
that's right, man. Hey, check this out, Mikey. Okay, so we got this fight coming up. All right. To the best of my knowledge, Holmes, this is the only fight on the card. Now you have other things going on, and I want to let's get to that. But I want to go ahead and ask you, brother, why? Why not have a little bit of an undercard? It doesn't have to be guys from YouTube. It could be guys from a boxing gym. When we did the charity fight, we had just a bunch of guys from the gym. Why not have, one or maybe two fights, whatever it may be? We never know what can happen, right? The two guys might go in there when the bell rings. One guy zigs when he should have zags, gets caught, fight's over. It lasted, less than 10 seconds. Why not see if we could get maybe an undercard, even if it's guys that nobody knows, just get them in there, a couple of amateur fighters and have one or two fights.
My whole ideology behind that was that's not what the people want to see. You're right. A fight could end in 10 seconds. I actually got stopped one time in 10 seconds. And that
Mm,
was because my nose busted in like a water faucet. But then after that, I cauterized it. I burned it 2 times. And so if you know, you know. If you don't, you know about burning your nose.
burn your nose.
You're right. That could happen. The reason I didn't do that is because I felt that's not what the people want. The people want more of a show. They want more entertainment and lead up. So when you have Aztec dancers dancing in the background, when you got Aztec war drums, doom, 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 getting everyone's bichi pelo behind their pescuezos up like a rooster. When you have more of a show, I believe people appreciate that. That's what they're there. And then when the cameras turn on, and you got us talking. Well, you have PYP Boxing in association with Cholo Trucker. You know what? Let me make this announcement, and I'm gonna digress. Wait, so bring me that question again.
Yes.
Here's an announcement right here. PYP Boxing and Cholo Trucker are going to be in this partnership as we grow this movement of peleas. So if you didn't know, we have official announcers. Cholo Trucker is all up in the middle. And he knows the Kool-Aid. He does know the Kool-Aid. All up in the middle of this fight, Tony, with stories written by a current prisoner. He's a day one supporter. This is my brother, man. We got the same blood flowing through our veins. If you didn't know, subscribe to his channel. Cholo Trucker will be there. He will be calling the fight along with PYP Boxing. And this is a partnership that we're going to grow as we go estado to estado. SoCal, NorCal will do all California, Denver, as we grow this and it's going to sell fun and the assets will get in the bank, and then now we'll be able to use the money from the company, right, and write off some taxes. But anyways, so they will be there calling the fight. So what people want to see is the Aztec dancers. Boom, we open up, you're going to see Cholo Trucker and you're going to see PYP boxing right there announcing the action with two microphones with some Aztec dancers behind them. You're also going to see a comedy show. We got one of the most funniest comedians that's going to be at Tony versus EBK. He's my brother también. He's hometown. So shout out to the 831. Shout out to Salinas. That's my base right there of subscribers. Those are the first couple thousand that jumped on the channel because they see me every single day. El Gordo Mamon is going to do a roast session. That's what he called it, a roast session on each and fighter. So, carnal, I don't think the people want to see 3-4 fights of no-namers. I think they want to see the fight. And not just that. What I keep saying in promotions is that entertain the people. Don't just fight. Right. Entertain the people.
Right.
And that's what they're going to get.
Yeah, no, right, man. There's been boxing matches that have not been entertaining, and people do not want to see that. So for those that did not catch it, PYP Boxing right here, Mark and David, along with myself, we will be there to do commentary for the fight. There will be 3 of us, myself, and I will be muting PYP so nobody could hear them. No, I'm kidding. Shout out to Mark.
Shout out to Mark. Shout out to David.
And we will be there. We will be doing commentary for the fight, man. So definitely can't wait for it. So okay, Mikey, just like you said, okay, you're not gonna have an you're not gonna have an undercard, but you are gonna have entertainment. So that should be good. So you said you got a comedian, you said you got Aztec dancers, and then you got the fight. Is that what we're looking at?
On. I don't know. We can keep adding to this thing again. My name is going behind this, cabrón.
Mm-hmm.
This is my name. Imagine my show. My show's va a ser de aquellas. I got the best for the photographer that I have is he's ranked number 2, 1 or 2 on Google in Monterey County. We have in Monterey County, just to let you know, we have Pebble Beach, Monterey, Pacific Grove, Salinas. There is a lot of photographers. This photographer is ranked number 1 or 2 on Google. I want to give a shout out to Manuel Ortega. Now, I got to give a shout out to the wifey because, again, the wifey is like 1 or 2 también. I don't want to leave her out. And they're very close friends. When she told me, why don't you have Manuel shoot it? I said, I can't afford him right now. I was like, it's going to be like a used car. Yeah, like I'm buying in the middle of the fight where I'm trying to get this fight to, self-fund itself so we can make another Cinco de Mayo fight. Because remind me, and I might give you a little bit of insight that I got a Cinco de Mayo fight that people want to see. But anyways, we got the best everything. My name is behind it, and that's why it's going to be a spectacle. I just want to be like Oscar de la Hoya, cabrón. I just want to be right there, soaking in the vibes, contigo, and just seeing everything. And I also want to say there are going to be limited available tickets. Okay. There is going to be. So just be on the lookout and subscribe to Chicano Tube, okay, and chill on Chicano Street, and then hit that bell notification. That way you can see the tickets that will be available. I'm excited, cabrón.
Okay. All right. So there is going to be an audience. So you guys go, what is it? Go subscribe to or be on the members. Is that what it is?
Well, the members only already know what they got coming. Matter of fact, when I announced that the members only have VIP access, all of a sudden there's a spike in the members only. And I think it's $7.99 or something 99, right? YouTube takes half of it, cabrones. But in the members only is where we talk about raw and gritty stuff. The stuff that I don't talk about on YouTube. You just did a video and you were talking about identifying and behind the walls or something like that.
With my sister, Jen Magana. Yes.
So shout out to Jen Magana. Shout out to that video. I read the caption and I misinterpreted the whole thing. I thought you were going to say I thought it was a video about how califas, a lot of people identify como like I was telling the youngsters last night, they wear it like a badge of honor. That I've been behind the walls and I did this and I did that. And
right.
We don't want to get into that right now.
Yeah, no, but you know what, Mikey? All right, so those were basically the questions that I want to go ahead and ask. I already kind of knew the answer just talking to you about it, man. But I always like to play a little devil's advocate, so you could just go ahead and throw it out there. So we got those answers. So let's talk about the fighters themselves. I personally am not too familiar with these guys. Um, if anything, I know Tony a little bit more than EBK because I was actually on Tony's show once upon a time, and it's funny. I actually got to see his face without the mask. We were talking before we recorded, and I got to see his face. I was not really aware of his show that much, so I didn't know he wore a mask. And then when he threw a mask, and I'm like, hey, why is this guy wearing a mask? When we're interviewing like this. But shout outs to him and shout outs to
That's a trip. I remember the first time hearing his channel, cabron. I
mm,
barely made a YouTube account. It was like the year before COVID. And when I would hear the stories, I'm like, the people are telling these stories on the internet. I thought it was a trip. I was like, whoa, what? They're telling these stories. It was a trip, right? And of course, I'm interested in them. And then, of course, that ended up in my feed to other channels, and they were saying some things that I never thought in my life would be told on the internet. Maybe some things shouldn't be on the internet. That's what I got to say. But was it interesting? It was interesting as hell. That's for damn sure. But shout out to Tony. I didn't even know that you were on his channel.
yeah, I was on his channel man a while back. It was to promote the charity fight.
Mm.
That's why I was on there. So that's
Okay.
yeah. So that's why I was on there. So let's talk about the two individuals, him and EBK. I saw the press conference you guys had. Like you said, Tony's a little bit taller. From what I have heard, EBK has suffered from some health issues. So let me go ahead and ask you this, Mikey. Is there any concern that anybody should have due to his health issues that he's had?
That's right. Spanx Contreras in the Casa Montebello in the Casa. So that's a good question,
Exactly.
right?
That's right.
And that's why I say people are going to want to, jump on the CCSOF cards because they're going to find out how I do things. This is how I operate. So the that concern would not be oversighted. Absolutely not. That concern would be the very first thing we actually would address. We wouldn't talk about the bag. We won't talk about anything else, all the other details, if health is not in order. So when I spoke with the young man, and he has an advantage, cabron, that a lot of us that are in our 40s, I'm in my 40s, he has an advantage of being a young man,
Mhm,
immune system strong. They will power through things twice as much as people twice their age, right?
mhm,
So the clearances from medical had to be the first thing we did. So and when I was discussing with him of joining the stable, again, I was not matchmaking yet. I was looking for fighters to bring to the stable first. These are again entrepreneurs, hustlers, and people obviously that are influencers and have followers, right?
mhm.
So we can sell the pay per view. I spoke with him. That was the first thing I spoke with him, and we got over those humps. It basically had to be medically cleared. So once that was done, I guess I'm putting out right now for the first time. I don't even know if I mentioned this on my channel. So once the medical clearances were done, it was time. It was time to see who we were going to match up against. And again, so to some of these street cats, it's easy just to pull up and grab a quick bag. It's like, damn, they're going to get a tax check just for running a fade, or something like that, which they did hundreds of times or grew up in the streets. So we did that first off because I'm very heavily liability minded. That doesn't go over my head. Business, when you want to do business, we're gonna do it the right way.
Okay, Mikey, to the best of your knowledge, are these guys training? And the reason why I bring that up, because you and I just admitted that it's so much different from the streets. You could be a badass all you want in the streets and throw some chingazos out there, but when you get into that ring, when I was training, I sparred a 19-year-old. He fractured two of my ribs. You know what I mean? And this kid had some pretty damn good skills. It's just completely different. To the best of your knowledge, are these guys training?
Yes, absolutely. They're training. And then, really quick on that 19-year-old, I don't even know, carnal. Different gyms do things differently. As far
Mm,
as sparring goes, there's some gyms that it's just testosterone pumping. Everyone's a lion, and the first sparring, you're sparring, he's knocking you out. So
mm,
there's those gyms. That's what I call not controlled sparring. So I have I feel like launching an investigation into Cholo Truckers fractured ribs and see what we can find over there, because there might be something. There might be some, but anyway, it could have been that, but that's not going to happen, because why would you not at least first off sparring the individual, match him, match his abilities, match his intensity, match his skills, and then know what level you're on. You're on a higher level or you're on his level. I mean, to me, fracturing a rib is something I don't know. But anyways, we will not get into that. They're both sparring. I just saw
okay.
both of them.
Okay.
So I know they both lost weight since the press conference. I think they both lost 20 pounds, both of
Okay.
them, since the press conference. I'm like, now we should do the photos for the poster. But the official poster is already out. I sent it to you, Carnal. What do you think about it?
Good. I like the color to it. No, it comes out really, really good, man. Great poster. I
It
like the
depicts a Mexican war, and that's what I expect, you guys. So we're gonna put the fight poster up one more time with the official date that it's launching, which will either be the end of February or the beginning of March. So when the fight poster goes out, the pre-order link is going to go out next week, gente. The pre-order link is going to go out next week. I don't know what it's going to be, $20, $25, something like that, right? It's going to be like a 12-pack of beer. Um, and once we do that, you can hit the pre-order link, and then it'll send it to your email that you're ready to go and you're ready to see it when it does launch. It is other things that I've learned is partnering up with YouTube in order to submit an application over to what's a program called the Content ID program. And what that does with YouTube, this is just one more thing I learned, is anybody that uploads a second of they basically they want the fight beforehand. YouTube, they take a digital and an audio fingerprint of it, and anyone that uploads a second of audio or video, even a visual, because again, they take a digital fingerprint, video fingerprint, and an audio fingerprint. So even if you try to take our audio, it automatically will strike the channel. These are things that I didn't know that I had to dive into. I think the whole structure of this thing is ready to go. And I got 6 fighters in the stable right now that I want to announce for CCSOF2, but not yet.
hey, gracias, Jaime. Yeah, if that fight happens, man. Los Tres Chingones Boxing, man. Go check us out. That's my boxing channel over there. So Mikey, let's get into some of the things that should happen or that you're gonna have happen. Have you decided what size gloves, the size of the ring, headgear? What weight are these guys gonna be coming in at? Or what weight? What's the weight difference right now? Do you know any of this stuff?
I do. I do. It's going to be the biggest ring. And I think the biggest ring is like a 28 by 28. But I
Wow,
could be wrong. Yeah, it's going to be the biggest ring.
big.
I don't expect anyone to run, because guess what? They're fighting on pay per view, cabron.
Okay.
There's a lot, right? Gente, they're fighting on pay per view. They're going to have videographers in front of them, photographers in front of them. These fighters know that it's going out there. It's going out there on pay-per-view. So if you want to purchase it, be on the lookout for that pre-order link. Each fighter, other channels too, will also share the poster. When we share the official poster is when we're going to share the link. And that way you could sign up $20 or $25. I don't know. It's going to be something like that. So what we can actually technically, it's an open weight fight. It's an open weight fight. If people are saying
I
they're going
I
to
I I know about that, man.
Yeah, it's an open yeah, you do. Because it falls under technically an exhibition, right?
Right,
Regulations. And
right.
so they can actually technically go down to 10 ounces. They can. 12 ounces, a lot of heavies start out with 12 ounces. That's already a lot of padding, cabron.
Mhm.
Anyone that remembers an ounce, okay, an onza, a brick onza, forget it, we're not gonna get into it. But imagine having 10 of those on top of your knuckles. Or imagine having 12 of those on top. So how much do you want? So none of my fighters are ever going to wear headgear.
Okay.
And we're always going to use the smallest amount of gloves, because don't talk to me about that. Don't come and try to pull up in the content creator stable, series of fighting stable, and then you're like, well, I only want to fight this weight. I only want to. You're going to pull up or you're not, because really the people want to see it. So we're going to use the smallest amount of gloves. We're not going to have headgear, and everything is going to fall under how it should. Again, you're talking to someone that has both licenses covered on the fighters, and I still have the referee, the official's license. So
Yeah, yeah, you're doing everything by the book. I'm telling you, man, you're bringing professionalism to this. So, I mean, deep professionalism, man. And I told you that in the charity fight. I'm like, Mikey, you know what? Just your involvement in it, man. You brought professionalism over there, sweating in that hot tuxedo, man. Getting the tuxedo burn on the forehead, Holmes. So, okay, so are you saying, Mikey, that this is going to be a 10-ounce gloves?
it could be 10 or it could be 12. I'm not sure. We have all of them brand new already in the gimnasio. We
Okay.
already have them all ready to go in the gimnasio. So maybe that'll be a last up to the minute call right there, because, man, to me, the 10s look big. Like, how
Mm,
much padding do you want? And 12s, the last thing I want is their shoulders to get tired. Again, they're not boxers. So this is a very even match. What it is none of them have any kind of boxing experience. So when you're coming in with no boxing experience, they technically consider you green.
right,
So
right,
you
right, right.
don't know yet. It takes 10 fights from you to turn novice into an open fighter. That's on purpose. Why does it take 10 fights in amateur boxing to turn from a novice to an open fighter? Because in those 10 fights, you're going to work out the kinks. The nerves are going to get out. If you got dropped, you're going to figure out what you're doing wrong. You're going to start taking it serious. And if you keep getting dropped and dropped and dropped, then maybe you shouldn't be boxing. But you figure it out in 10 fights, and by the time you get open, you're like, you know what? If I'm going to the hospital, I'm taking them with me.
Mm. Okay. Okay. Yeah. No. Good stuff. So hopefully, yeah. I would look. I'm with you. I don't think people realize the padding and the sizes of the glove. When we did ours, the charity fight, it was 14-ounce gloves. Those are huge, man. Not even heavyweights fight with that. They fight with 10-ounce for the most part. It was 14 ounces, and when you start sweating, which is basically after one round, you're sweating, so you basically get that glove and dip it in a bucket of water. That adds more weight to it. So whenever you're throwing punches, especially when you miss the punches, son of a bastard, home.
You get tired, gente. You
Yeah,
get tired. That's what
yeah,
I was saying. Dispensa,
yeah.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but
No, no, but
I
go ahead.
had your gloves
Mhm,
in my room overnight.
mhm.
We had a dinner with Pastor David Rocha. Shout out to the House of Rest. Shout out to the House of Rest. The people's pastor. That's what I call Pastor David Rocha, the people's pastor. I left that dinner that everyone had. I don't even know if you were there, Carnal. There was tables long, tables and
I
tables
wasn't
long.
there.
Okay. I left that early because I still had notes to write and other things to do. Again, I've been doing over 100 events already in amateur boxing.
Mm,
Over 100 events. And so when I was going through my cards to read for ring announcing and everything I had to do, I looked at the gloves and I said, these gloves aren't even broken in.
yeah,
I
yeah,
ended up trying to lightweight break them in. My bad. I ended up lightweight trying to break them in a little bit because I was like, there's no way that shouldn't happen in a fight. Now they don't have to be brand, they have to be broken in gloves, no matter what they are. And of course, the other opponents, camp can come in and look at them. So I lightweight broke them in. So it could be the very lowest gloves.
okay. Okay, yeah, and when I stepped into that ring, I know somebody put in there. I don't know if it was Paul from LA Times. Shouts to Pablo, but yeah,
Shout
I
out to
think
Paul.
we never weighed in, so I don't know where anybody got the weights. But I did not weigh 173. I stepped into that ring at 157. So a guy 157 pounds with 14-ounce gloves, man. It just it was
There
quite
was
the
there was a you had a hill to climb, you had a mountain to climb. Shout out to Paul from LA Times. We spoke yesterday.
yeah. That's
And
a
so I
good
want
guy.
to give a shout out to him, man. That's my hermano, that's my Christian brother. He's actually working on a Christian film. he's just doing, and I'm glad he's healthy, he's strong. So shout out to Paul from LA Times, man. He's a DP. He really does independent short films. He knows his stuff. I value his friendship so highly. I really do.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to him. That's a really good man right there. Really good friend of mine. So okay, so we got the gloves, no headgear. It's gonna be a big ring, but at the same time, these are two big guys, man. I'm assuming both of these guys are gonna come over 200 pounds. So they're bringing a lot of power to their shots here. And if they're training, they're sparring, they're doing it good, it should be a good one. Mikey, thank you so much for thinking about me when it comes to commentary. It like I told you before, man. Gracias. It'd be an honor to be there in commentary and calling this fight. Mi hermano, is there anything else that you want to throw out there, man? Anything about the fight, anything about your channel, any message, anything, brother? You just go ahead and you let it be known.
Gracias. I appreciate you, mi Chicano hermano. I need everyone to subscribe over to Cholo Trucker. Anyone that came from Chicano Tube on Chicano Street, go and subscribe over to Cholo Trucker. Gracias for the invitation. I want to let the people know the beef is real. There is a beef behind that. I think both of them will be making videos in these last couple weeks because the countdown is on. When the poster comes out with the date, it'll either be the end of February, the beginning of March. When the poster gets posted, it'll have the pre-order link. The beef is real. There's something between them. They both want to handle it. EBK family, he's from the 831. He's from my neck of the woods. Acá, cabrón, nomás hay gallos. Because si no eres gallo, you know, people will know. And so Tony is also making a debut. And Tony's told me he's got a hit list. Tony told me this is just the beginning. Tony's got a hit list of who he wants to get in the ring with. Pues it's because he got Chicano blood flowing through him. You know, so you got two Chicanos, you got a Mexican war that is going to happen. You guys be on the lookout for this guerra. Plenty more content. Subscribe over to the channel. Plenty more content. We haven't even started dropping content. You guys are going to get sick and tired of hearing it until you order it, and then you know it's going to happen. So shout out to Cholo Trucker. I will see you very soon. And a tu esposa también. Shout out to her, and I'll see the whole familia very, very soon. And don't forget to subscribe to mi hermano's channel.
And where could they go if they're interested in tickets?
Perfect. So I will put out the announcement, and it'll either be through email or it's either going to be through IG. But I will have everything readily available, or a text line. I also got a phone line that they'll be able to. And again, going through, it's going to be very limited. It's going to sell out because if I'm only going to give like 20 tickets, I know more than 20 people want to see it. I'm just talking about very, very limited tickets because some people do want to see it. But there's going to be a process in getting the ticket también. So
Eso. So you guys go check out Chicano 2, Mike Diaz over there for the latest updates. Are you giving updates every week?
Mi Chicano hermano, we're going to be going every single week. Just follow the channel. Everyone, once I post some content, everyone always messages me. How do I order? How do I order? Calmados, cabrones. And also, if you want to be a sponsor, right now we have 201 Main Street, the best nightlife in Salinas. 201 Main Street. If you know, you know. This is for my 831 people. When me and the wifey go to think of going out, we go to 201 Main Street. They treat us like VIP. The wifey actually shot for their website twice. So the wifey shot for their revamping of their new websites 2 times already. And our other sponsor is DJ Booth, 2 established companies in Salinas that got roots decades and decades back. And so shout out to our, if you want to sponsor, get at me también on IG or email chicanotubraza at gmail.com. I can't wait to see you. It should be a good one.
Mikey, you are an individual that makes something out of nothing. And the motive that you have, you just don't stop, brother. And I highly respect and appreciate that from you. So everybody go ahead, go check out Chicano 2 for the latest updates. This event's going down. I will be there doing commentary for the fight. I appreciate my brother, Mr. Mike Diaz from Chicano Tube. Shout outs to his lovely wife, Miss Chicana Tube. You guys could check her out as well. She's here and there on the round table with our sister Jen Magana as well from Salinas, California. Much love to them. And you guys stay tuned, man. We don't have a set date yet. Late February, early March, and just stay tuned, man. And you guys will get more updates. Till then, live your life like you're on the road. Be aware of your surroundings and always keep a safe distance. Blood makes you live, but loyalty makes you family. And as my brother here says, at the end, all you have is the memories, which is one of the best sayings I have ever had. Cholo Trucker for mi hermano one, Mr. Mike
That's
Diaz from
right. Everyone have a
Chicago.
good night. Hit that like on your way out and comment on your way out. I appreciate you, hermano. To the next episode.
Over and out.